everything okay?
Yeah, I'm streaming already.
Good morning. Put this pack what's in the sink into the dishwasher, please. Thanks. Leave those upstairs with me. Well, Meredith?
It's got plenty of challenge. It's being worked on MCG, textiles, linen, 32 count linen. I'm sorry, I just jumped in this broadcast so quickly. I didn't even do a proper introduction. It's so small. It really is so small. But just the whole entire thing all the way around, which is going to be 16 or 17 inches, you know, wide and high. There we go. It's going to be quite big. So I've been working on this piece since the last, I think it was a 50% off Heaven and Earth Designs sale. And that's when I picked up this chart, and I started on it almost immediately because I had what I wanted to start on it, and that's been in June. So I've been working on this for a little over a month, and it doesn't look like much. I mean, it's about the length of my hand is what I've got going, but it's a lot of work because these X's are so small. I don't know if I will ever actually do a mirabilia, I think they're gorgeous, of course, but they, you know, just mermaids and beautiful women and stuff like that, princess fairies and things like that. It's not really my style, so I'm not sure if I'll ever actually do one, but I wanted to try 1/1 stitching, of course, you know, because that's, if I did a mirabilia, I would definitely do the skin 1/1, or feel pressured to do it that way, I should say. So, I think I might have skipped an X here. It's so hard to tell. I got kind of rattled by trying to get the stream up, and then it seemed like the Wi-Fi or something went out at the same time, so we're back up in stitching, so that's good. Oh no, here comes a little knot trying to ruin my day. No, knot. There we go. No, I thought it was coming out. I also had to put this piece on a different Q-snap to work with it today. I had it on a 17-inch Q-snap, but I haven't really been working with it on the stand, you know. Oh man, this is just going to be a pain in my butt today. I find, so anyway, I had to put it on a different Q-snap to work with it today. The other Q-snap won't, the stand I have doesn't want to really hold a 17-inch Q-snap. I have the Daylight Stitch Smart stand, and it is plastic, and it gets pretty heavy, and it's hard to reach over 17 inches, honestly. See, I know how this is going to work. I'm going to sit here and poke at it, and poke at it, and pull it until it finally comes loose. But it's hard when you're stitching with one strand. Ow. One strand, when it gets tangled, it's very tangly. It's easier to untangle 2 or 3 strands, I think. There we go. Come on. Come on. You can do it. So, but I love this French Filigree piece. I've been getting better at pronouncing it and saying it. I don't know. The original colors were charted for, I can't remember the company, but it was some thread company that I had never even heard of before. Alright, I'm just going to send it to the back for now, because we'll just, that's 1, 2, 3. I ended up picking, oh man, it looks horrible. I ended up picking, of course, to do it in 310 DMC black, and also I picked the corresponding color. I kind of agonized over it, but I really liked the way that the red contrasted with it. I thought, and I wanted to stick with black, so yeah, I'm just gonna hopefully not bring this knot through again. It's close enough to the, we go. Alright, what have I done here? 1, 1, 2. Okay, this is what I'm going to do over here. The bad thing about linen, of course, is the threads are uneven. You know, it alternates between a narrow thread and like a wider thread. And it can be hard to see sometimes. Yeah. That's basically the biggest challenge to this piece, is to see. The challenge is to see things. And it can be hard to tell if the X is a little uneven. That's why, if you've seen any of my other videos, you probably noticed that I really do, I'll do a lot of crossing my X's, just doing one leg and doing a row or several of those X's and then coming back and crossing all the X's. That's what I like to do. That's what I usually do, but I do not do that at all in this chart. I do it, the X one by one, you know, because it gets the result more even. See, some of these X's right now, it's hard to get them to look so uniform, like I said, especially on the linen. So it's better to do it one X at a time. It really is. Betty just asked a question about linen and laying it the right way. And I was confused about that as well. As far as I know, there isn't a back or a front, and I could be wrong. There isn't a back or a front to linen, but when you start, you want to make sure you start, because of the way that the weave is, some of them are on top and some of them are on bottom. And if you start an X, and which can be hard, if you start an X over a thread that is on the bottom, then your little thread will get lost and go, it'll get to the back. When I pick a front or back to a fabric, I usually try to pick the fluffiest looking side for the front, if that makes sense. The side that looks like it has the most dimension on it. And I don't think there is a difference. I'm going to look at the back of my fabric real quick. I mean, I don't think there really is a big difference on this, this particular linen. I'm not sure about if you turn it, you know, what I'm talking about is a 90-degree angle in this way, if that affects it either. But I do know that when you start, and it happens to me, it just happened right here, you know, it's not that I just started the thread, but it's like the X just got swallowed. I don't know if I pulled it too tight, but it just went behind the thread. And that's really the challenging part with linen that I find. Sometimes it's helpful actually to start, if you see right now, It's because I'm going down, but I'm starting in a lower right hand corner, not the upper left, you know. And I think it helps, depending on which way you're traveling. If you start from the bottom and you go up, to me it has a little bit less tendency to roll underneath the thread. So I got a good little X there. But you should definitely try stitching on linen, Betty. It's nicer, you know, than just Aida. Um, there's that knot on the back. Okay. If you can afford it, you know, skip over the MCG linen that you find in the big box stores like Hobby Lobby and Joann. But they're fine too. It really is, especially for getting started on something that you've never tried before. You may not like it. You may like even weave better, you know. Stitching 1/1 on 32 count is also not a good thing to start with. I don't know. One, two, three. Linen can be a little flimsy too. I think that can present a challenge when you're trying to stitch on it. It doesn't have a lot of structure to it. You need to hold it fairly tight on the Q snap or whatever you're using. Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons why the threads can sometimes get lost in the weave, because see, I might have pulled it a little too tight there. My first X is trying to get under there, so okay. Alright. Messed up a little bit. Oops. This little area down here, I stitched twice, so now it's unnecessary. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do about that, because it's really hard to frog. Oh, I did it. To frog 32 count 1/1. I'm also, next week, I'm going on vacation. And I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that I'm planning to try to broadcast while I'm on vacation, because I'm going to do a heck of a lot of stitching. I think we all say that, but, you know, of course, my number one priority is to spend time with my family, but definitely going to be trying to get some stitching in while I've got some extra hands to help with the baby, you know. And so I may try to broadcast if I can get a good cell phone signal. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is good. Yeah. I am packed up. I'm ready to go. I got a new rolling craft tote that I might share with you sometime. But anyway, it holds everything that I need, I think, and I'm ready to take it on vacation with me. Okay, so this is where I messed up. When I say I'm taking everything with me, I just realized that the stitching knife that I need is in my suitcase already, so I'll just try to skip around this part, I guess. I am gonna have to take that line out because it's gonna interfere with the pattern. This one little line of 3 right here doesn't belong there. I've been very lucky so far. I haven't had really many mistakes with this piece. I decided to use, for my accent color, I think I talked a little bit about that. It is kind of red, but it's actually color 309, which is deep dark rose or very dark rose or something like that. And it's looking pretty good. I've actually thought about trying to bring in some other colors, you know, because I don't... This is going to be a very big piece. And it's only got 2 colors in it. So, I hope that the red, the rose color will be able to hold its own and really make the piece interesting. I don't know, we'll see. Okay. Just gonna randomly go off in this direction, I guess. Yeah, that's good. Alright, let's try this again. I was about to make another mistake. My needle's caught on something back there. Hold on. Got my itty bitty needles out here today. I try to, you know, it's fun to work on itty bitty stitching with itty bitty needles. These were recommended to me by Lori, the organic granny. She uses them a lot, and they're the John James 28 Petites. They're the same, oh, come on. They're the same size, diameter, I guess, as your regular 28 needles, but they're much shorter. So it really helps when you're trying to get to that last little bit of thread, you know. And it's fun to work on, like I said, this itty bitty stitching with an itty bitty needle. And as you can see over here, I have my itty bitty needle minder too. That's the smallest needle minder I own. So alright. I'm being a little bit rough with this. I don't know why it's not coming out. Wow. What to do? Alright, I'm gonna have to flip the thing before. Let's see. Okay. Sometimes you just have to go at these at a different angle. Getting thread out is a very tough proposition. Putting thread in is not that hard, but taking it out, ooh. Alright, I think we're back on track now. Yesterday was the Picture This Plus sale. I went on their website today being like, oh, I wonder if it's still up. I wonder if I can still get some more fabric. I did order, place a small order yesterday, and it was the first time that I've ever ordered from that company, so I'm very excited. I have no idea how long it's going to take to get the order, of course, but I'm ready to wait, I guess. It's going to be, I ordered 3 different pieces, and they're all smaller counts. Like, I think I ordered a 32, a 36, and I might have ordered a 40. And I know well, a 30, maybe 2 32s and a 36 count fabric. and I don't really have definite plans with what to do with them yet. So, wow, that does not look right. Looks too... Sometimes I do have, I don't know if this is good strategy or not, but sometimes I go over the X's more than once. Because like I was explaining, that the threads can get a little bit swallowed on the linen. And in order to get a good result, an even result, sometimes you just have to do it again. Alright. I think I know what I'm doing now. My strategy for this piece has been stitch a little, put in a thread or two of black, and then go back in and fill what I've done in with any red. Also, what's interesting to note about this piece that can be a little bit difficult is when you look at the piece, it looks very symmetrical. It looks like it's the same pattern repeated around the circle, or at least, you know, this part looks symmetrical, but it's actually not. There, for example, there's a red dot here that's charted as red that's not matching on the other side. That's black on the other side. And some of these, you know, these things right here, I don't know if you can see, the black outline is not symmetrical. So that is pretty tough because you have to pay really close attention to what you're doing. But it's a gorgeous piece. And they have other filigrees. Like there's a Dutch filigree and a Greek filigree, I believe, that Heaven and Earth also makes. And they look like they're a little bit easier. But the French Filigree definitely provides the biggest challenge, I think. Especially if you're doing it on really. I think it would be really beautiful. Also, well, I wanted to do it on linen. I didn't want to do it on even weave because I have so many projects on even weave right now that most of the time I'm trying to get away from even weave. So that's why I pretty much am doing it on 32 count. And honestly, 1/1 on 32 count with one strand, even with DMC, is a little bit bulky. 1/1 on 28 count is probably perfect. Excuse me. What have I done? I've created... Oh, that looks... This is so confusing. Oh. One, two, three. Okay, I think that's what it is. That's the problem over there. Oh, okay. I can do this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I now see what's holding me back. I extended this. I got it to match up on the way around here, but this doesn't belong there either, so I'm gonna have some major frogging to do. Well, not major. I mean, it's just this one little area right here. I've noticed there, but it's not gonna... If I leave it, I was gonna wrap around here, and it'll make it off. So I gotta fix it. Yep. Okay. So what I'm gonna do next believe is going to go ahead and start frogging because there's no point to continuing this while I'm doing something wrong. So give me just a second. Let me see. You guys get to see how I frog. I've showed this before, but I do have a stitchery knife that is very helpful for this. I don't know how helpful it's going to be on 32 count though. I haven't really decided how much I have to take out either. But we'll see what's gonna happen. Okay. I'm just gonna take all this out. So what this knife has is it has a curved blade that's sharp on one side only. So you can kind of catch your threads underneath this sharp blade and hopefully not ruin your fabric. Now there's a nice, I don't know if you guys have seen this, she's not exactly a floss tuber, but her name is Nicola Parkman, I think. And she's from Hands Across the Sea Samplers, and she's this very nice British lady. And she has a tutorial about how to repair your fabric if you cut a hole in it. And it's linen. She does it on linen, and I mean she repairs the fabric by taking, like, she had this freaking hole in there, and then she takes out strands from, you know, from the outer edge of the fabric, takes strands from the outer edges of the fabric and manages to weave them in back into the fabric and get rid of the hole. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's amazing. And it's a very good tutorial. So even if you don't, I mean, I was sitting there watching it and I was like, oh my gosh, when she was cutting holes in the fabric. But she fixed it, no problem. It looked very time intensive, you know, but she did it. Okay. I think I'm going to end up taking out more than I need to so I don't get confused. I don't know. I stayed up pretty late last night, and the stitching gods are not very forgiving in the morning if you stay up late. Hey Talia, I am very, yeah, I'm disappointed I'm not going to be able to come to the next stitching meetup because it's just going to be too much, I think, on the 8th. I'm really disappointed because I did want to come, but we're going on vacation next week, and we'll be back on Saturday, and school starts on Monday, and it's the first week of school is, you know, what it is. And then I've got that stitching retreat in Marietta on the 11th and 12th. So no, I'm not gonna be able to drive to Warner Robins on the 8th. It's gonna be, I wish you guys would have made it just like in a week or two. I probably could have swung it then, but I'm really sad because I usually get to go to all those Warner Robins meetups, and I'm gonna miss seeing you and Dina and whoever else shows up. But definitely the next one. Alright, I gotta get this stuff out of the back. Let's see. What else is going on here? Alright, I'm gonna have to flip it over to see if I can get some more of this stuff out of the back. This is a first for me. I've never frogged on a live stream before. It had to happen sometime though. So far I'm keeping the fabric intact. That's the most important thing. So the stitching session is turning into a live frogging session. If I can just get to a point where it's clean, I might start over. Okay, let's see, where are we now? We got 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Alright, I think I'm about ready to get back to stitching. Alright. Alright, I think that's good for now. Ow. I didn't even cut myself any extra thread today, so I gotta really do everything. I was in a little bit of a rush. All right. This is probably too long of a length of thread. It's from another project, so I'm cutting it in half. Okay. Still got a few fuzzies on here. Alright, we're ready to rock now. One, two, 3. See, what I don't understand is I'm looking where this is supposed to be lined up, because as far as I can tell, this is, unless I made a mistake up here. I should be like way up here. This part should be way up here. So I think I might have a more serious mistake than I thought. I don't know why. What I'm gonna do, I believe, is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna start the design that's, because this is supposed to wrap around and do a little filigree, you know, effect right here in the middle. So I think I'm gonna start in the middle, skip over and start to the middle, and do this thing and try to line it up that way. So we'll see how that works out. All right. Just a fresh start, that'll help out a lot, I think. Really? Do you know when Dina's moving yet, Talia? Has she said when exactly? Yeah, I would hate to miss Dina, but on the other hand, she is moving to Gainesville and my parents are moving to Flowery Branch. So, I hope I'll get to stitch with her another time in the future. Oh my god. The cross-stitch gods are against me this morning. I about had it. Yeah, this is not good. My tail came through. I hate to do it, but I'm just gonna have to do it. I'm just gonna have to clip it off. Well, I hope there's another get-together pretty soon after August 8th in Warner Robins, because I always have a lot of fun, and that's a good location where you guys meet up. So, wow. Where is... Okay, so far this session has been like, I was not planning to get this deep and detailed. I was just trying to get some stitching in. And spent most of my time frogging out a mistake, but that's okay. As long as I can figure out where I am. This is what I'm going to be working on for the rest of the day. Probably the rest of the week. I'm taking this piece on vacation with me, actually. Okay. I don't know why I had so much problems with that section, the other little trail that I was doing, but this is working out much better. This is probably safer to start, you know, in the middle and swirl outward rather than starting outside and trying to make it all line up going in. So, but I'm ready to take a break right now. And I'm glad you guys have joined me. Got to stick through some frogging instead of some stitching, but it happens. Okay. There we go. That's what it's supposed to be. Ooh, makes me so nervous when I'm putting these stitches in. There's another knot on the back, and that's gonna tell me I'm gonna quit here because I'm not picking another knot right now on the internet. So, alright, I think that's about where I'm gonna stop for today, and I'm really glad that you guys were able to check in and stitch with me if you were able to. I got to talk a little bit with you guys, and it's been kind of I don't know, a strange day, and especially now that I spent all that time frogging on the stream, like, I'm mortified.